advertising on YouTube, I grow my
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon to all our viewers. Good afternoon to all our viewers that are here currently. Again, today I am here to give you another program, another opportunity to hear from another stakeholders, from German here, Stuttgart, a Gambian project called Saba-Lou. This is a project that is in the Gambia in North Bank region. So today I will be here with the Saba-Lou team in Stuttgart. They will be telling us, or we will be discussing about their ongoing Saba-Lou project in the Gambia. They will give us more details, explanations about this Saba-Lou project in the Gambia. So please stay, and you are all free to say so that our brothers and sisters here in Germany and of course in the Gambia can benefit from this information that they will be here to tell us. It is a very, very important project. It is a very, very helpful project for the youths in the Gambia and of course all Gambian youths in diaspora. Anybody interested about this project, you will hear from them today. My guest should be here by now. I don't know if he is hearing me. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Oh,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Your video is not on. Maybe you check your camera. Oh, yes, you are here now.
I should be there, yeah?
Yes, you are here. I see you.
Okay, okay, that's good.
Very clear.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. We are live in Facebook. We are live streaming. Of course, it is Zoom, but we are live streaming it in Facebook to give this opportunity to Gambians, in diaspora, of course, in Germany and in the Gambia, to all have access to this information and see exactly, to have at least a view of who is speaking. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
You're really welcome. I'm glad that you have, with your busy schedule, you have time to join us today. So without wasting much time, hence there are people already watching and sharing the program, I will give you the chance and the opportunity to introduce yourself to the viewers. Who are you? Of course, I know you, but then the Gambians who did not know you. And first of all, let's start with you. Who are you?
Thank you very much for inviting me again, Mr. Sonko. I really appreciate the fact that I can present our project that I can present me. Well, in advance, briefly to me, I am Frederick. Yeah, you can call me Frederick. In German, it's Friedrich. Yeah, Frederick Bauer. Yeah, I am the founder of a German foundation called Saba-Lou. Saba-Lou is Wolof because we started our first project in the Sine-Saloum Delta in Senegal. And it is saying what you have to do in order to achieve your goal. Yeah. And we took up that word, that concept for our foundation. And it had been guiding us now for more than 11 years. Yeah. We started, well, first of all, we have 2 or 3 projects. At present, we have 2 actual projects. One is in the Gambia, in the Upper Baribu district near Farfani. And the other project is in Northeast Ghana. Yeah.
Northeast Ghana, okay.
Northeast Ghana. Both projects are in the savannah, or in Northeast Ghana, it's even on the way to the Sahel zone. Yeah. So in arid zones there. We are engaged from the beginning in agricultural projects, yeah, and both in horticultural gardening and in field crops. Now, the project in the Gambia is focused more on horticultural gardening. It is an educational project, a vocational training project, addressing jobless young Gambians and offering the opportunity to train for a job in agriculture. Yeah, we had been in the Gambia for more than 10 years. We started, I think, in 2010 and 11, even in times of your dictatorship. We always went underneath. I say we were like guerrillas. Yeah, we went directly to the community, so we didn't have to do anything with the government, with the dictator. We had community projects, all of them income-generating projects, because from the beginning, we had an entrepreneurial approach. We wanted the people to produce something and to get independent after a certain time of funding them, yeah? In the Gambia, we had 3 villages, and 2 of them had been successful. Both in the Upper Baribu district near Farafeni. So they are financing themselves now. The projects consisted of implementing a garden for the communities, implementing a solar pumping and irrigation system, and providing them with potable water in the villages. Yeah. And 2 villages out of 3 had been successful. They can finance all of it themselves now since 3 years. Yeah. So this is also the main goal of the actual project, which is a much, much bigger project. It is also located in the Upper Baribu district near Farafeni, close to the river Gambia. At a small community called Balingo. I don't know if you know it.
Yes, I know where Balingo is, yes.
Yeah, but Gambia is very small, so most Gambians, they know where Farafeni is located. So it's about 10 kilometers of Farafeni on the road to the river, yeah? So there we did a memorandum of understanding with the village that we get land of 12 hectares for 100 years in order to cultivate it. Yeah, and
that's a big land.
It's a big land, and we are cultivating actually on 10 hectares. Yeah, vegetables. Yeah, but we also, from the beginning of that project, we wanted to give your youth, Gambian youth, a chance in offering them really professional training, vocational training. Now, it is very unusual that such courses durate for 2 years, but we do that because Our expertise is in agriculture, as well field crops, as well as horticultural gardening. And we give them a really sound training for 2 years in horticultural gardening, in animal production, yeah.
Animal husbandry.
Yeah, animal husbandry, focusing on layers, yeah, on chicken, but also cows and goats and things like that, yeah. They also have a side effect, a side benefit of producing dung, yeah, for the huge area. So they're complementary, yeah, both segments, yeah. So we started with that project in 2019, end of 2019. We implemented it. We planned it and started to prepare it in 2019 and implemented in September 2019. There was a big event there with the governor, the regional governor and district governor, yeah, of that area. This project is running now for 1.5 years. We started with the first batch of 40 students. Yeah.
Yeah.
These 40 students, they will go through their exams now in September 2021. We have 2 batches now of each of 40 students. The second batch started last year in September. So at present, and also in the future, there are always 80 students on the camp. Yeah, the camp is a boarding project. That means that the students are accommodated there, accommodated on the camp. Yeah, they work on the camp, they are accommodated there, they get free accommodation and free food. And they get the training, a sound training. I come to that training just in a minute. They get a sound training, these 80 students, and they work, yeah. The project is based on the German dual principle of education. I don't know if that says anything to you. Yeah. Dual education means that you are trained and educated on the one hand, and that you work and produce on the other hand. Yeah.
Means you learn it in school, you know, theory, both theory and practical.
Exactly. So that's what we do. That's what we practice there. Not many educational projects do it like that, but we are trained
in Gambia. That's true.
Yeah.
Just, I don't want to short you cut. Just to help our viewers to understand in details what you mean by this. This means the trainees there, or let's say the students there, you know, when they are there, they do 2 things. That is, they learn this in classroom, or they learn this, you know, theoretically, and they don't only stop there, but they do it also in practical. Am I right?
Exactly. That's it. That's the point. So they learn and practice agriculture. Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Yeah. And not only that, we are also accredited by NACA, by the National Association of, you know what NACA is, yeah? So the training is certified by your national, I have to look it up because I always forget what it means. That's the National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority. So that means that our training is accepted and is registered with your national accreditation body, yeah, the NACA. That's very important with regard to future jobs, yeah, with regard to future chances of the students, yeah, that they can say we are NACA certified, yeah. This also means that we have NACA trained and certified trainers. One of your questions was, where are the trainers from? Well, they are all from the Gambia. There is no white guy there. Yeah, we had an exception. We had an exception in the first year, which was extremely helpful. we are trying to continue that. Our education was is twofolded. It is the agricultural training, yeah, the agricultural training, how to produce vegetables, how to produce chicken, yeah, how to produce, etc., yeah. But there is also a theoretical training on that, yeah. And this is, as I said, done by Gambian trainers, by Gambian trained trainers.
Okay, let's allow me to come in here. You mean the trainers there are Gambian professional trainers,
exactly.
These people there, like there is nothing like you bring in German professionals from Germany to come there. Did I get that right?
You got it to one point. The other point is, yeah, that management training also is part of the education, yeah? How to do a business plan, how to do cost accounting, yeah? How to plan marketing and sales, yeah? So this was done, this part of the training was executed by Lufthansa management trainees. Lufthansa is the German airline, you know. Yeah.
I know Lufthansa, yes.
And we have been working closely with the airline from the beginning. They also funded quite a lot of money for the project. And they asked us, hey, can we send our management trainees to your project in order to teach the Gambian trainees how to start a business? Yeah, how to make a business plan. So that's what they did in 2019 and 2020. Now, you know what happened to Lufthansa, yeah? They went down on Earth. They could not fly anymore to that extent, yeah? So they also canceled that project, but we continued with the training. So we did it virtually, yeah, by videos, yeah? And we are trying to introduce now Gambian trainers to do also the management part, yeah? So to come back to your original questions, yes, we have agricultural trainers exclusively from the Gambia. We had management trainers from Lufthansa, and the students, if you ask them, they benefited a lot from that, yeah? They're really crazy about these Lufthansa guys.
Again, here is also very important, another important question, I'm sorry to stop you. That is about the trainers. Some Gambians might ask, okay, when he said these trainers are Gambians, how do you scout them? I mean, how do you get to these Gambian, these trainers in the Gambia? Did they really have the qualification to be trainers? What is their qualification? How do you scout them? Because it's important, you know, for the youths to have confidence in their trainers. You know, if we are asking them, if we are introducing a project to them, you know, and saying that, okay, there are people who will train you. Who are these people? They are Gambians, clear. Okay, but how do you get to know them? What is their background knowledge? Because the background knowledge, you know, about these issues are very, very important. Did they actually have the professional training to train this specific subjects or these specific business areas?
Well, first of all, yeah, we are quite well connected in the Gambia. We had been there in your country now since 10 years. We are, I think, the best connected organization, foreign organization in the Gambia. You don't find another organization who is that connected to government, to institutional bodies. We have a CEO now, I think you might know him, Mamadou Ba,
yes,
who has been working with us now for 5 years. Yeah, we founded a Gambian NGO already in 2012. Yeah, so we are quite good connected. The trainers, 2 of the trainers have a university diploma, yeah, from from your university of the Gambia. And as I said, 1 or 2 of the trainers are also NACA certified, so they are quite known. Yeah, we have people on the ground who support the students in the field. Yeah, so all in all, we have 6 trainers. 2 of them have a university diploma in agriculture, a Gambian university diploma, and we have 4 agricultural experts from the Gambia also who assist the students in the field. Yeah. So I'm not the person to give you a more detailed response because
I get it.
I'm sorry, I had not been in the project now since more than 1.5 years, also due to Corona.
Yeah.
I'm going to visit the project now in June, end of June, July. My wife at present is already there in the Gambia, yeah, preparing the 40 students of the first batch for their exam, yeah, and working with the second batch, yeah. So to give you a more detailed information, I can ask exactly Mamadou Ba where the trainers come from. But
that is fair. That is fair. That is fair. We will not. I think that's absolutely very fair, and you are right. Let's this will take us to another question. You know, I understand that Saba-Lou, you are the founder and the CEO. You know, here in Germany, and of course with your team. I met you guys several times now. You know, and personally we know each other. So I know the goals of. Can you tell us what are the goals of Saba-Lou? What is the target? Their like when I mean target, did they actually have a target group of Gambian youth that they want to help, or that they want to integrate or reintegrate? Is this target group only in Gambia? Are we talking about you? You know, just to help our viewers to understand, and all the people who follow this program later. This project that we're talking about, Saba-Lou, is it a project for Gambian youth, only for Gambian youth in the Gambia, or even it involves Gambian youth in diaspora, and how?
Okay, I have to answer you in a multiple way. Yeah.
Please, yes.
First of all,
you're welcome.
First of all, the goal of that project is to sustain itself in 2 years. In 2 years, that means in 2022, 2023, we expect that project to finance itself. At that point, we as Saba-Lou are out, because we always have had and have an entrepreneurial approach. We want all of our projects to finance, to pay for themselves. That's our main goal. We don't want to stay there forever. Yeah. Let's say in beginning of 2023, the project fully belongs to the Gambians. We have no more involvement from Saba-Lou. So that's point one. Yeah, it's not a German project. It will be a pure Gambian
project.
Yeah. Okay. That's very, very important, because we don't want to support the projects for years and years and years. Yeah, they have to look to finance themselves. So that's one point. The other point, the other question, part of your question refers to the target group. Yeah, we started out addressing Gambian youths. Yeah, in the Gambia. Yeah, when we started 2019, we had a definition of our target group. Yeah, in terms of age, 15 to 20 years, to 30 years, sorry, 15 to 30 years. But it's not that relevant. If a guy who is motivated, yeah, is 31 or 32, he always is welcome. Yeah, but it gives you a certain frame. Yeah. So that's point one, the age. The second criteria for a target group is that the people have to be literate. And we said, okay, literate means for us, they have to have grade 9, but also that is not that important. The point is that we cannot teach these guys in 4 or 5 tribal languages. Yeah, it has to be English. Yeah, all other things are crazy. You cannot do that. Yeah, so the training is in English. That means the people have to be literate. Yeah? If they have grade 9 or not, it's not that important, but they have to be able to write and to read and also to think. Yeah, so the brain is also important. So that's the most important thing. And we also had another requirement. We said we want also to include women. So we said at least 40% of the trainees should be female. At present, it's 50% because young women are most interested in that project. And you know why? I don't have to tell you. Because they reach out for independence. They want to get out of their families, yeah, and want to have their own life. And this, this is a quite important thing. Yeah, at present we have a portion of 50% women, 50% male trainees. Now, with regard to the migrants, yeah, this idea came up, I think, beginning of 2020, and we said, why not open that wonderful project also to people who are willing to return to their country and offer them the most important thing that they can have in their life, that's professional education. Because with that, they're able to make a living, yeah, on their own, to make a living on their own. So that's what we said, why not open this wonderful project to migrants? And that was the point when I came into contact with Mr. Wiegand, and after Mr. Wiegand also with you and with the Interior Ministry and things like that, yeah. So at that point, we are at present, it was quite difficult to get into contact with you and migrants willing to return, with returnees, yeah. It's an offer. We offer them a training which is without any costs. Yeah, we don't ask for fees. We give them free accommodation. We give them free food. We even pay them a small salary. Yeah, it's not much. Yeah, but it's small in order to reward them for their labor. Yeah, which is also important. And we offer them a very, very, very sound professional education. That's the most important thing. So that is what we also wanted to Gambians staying here in Germany and willing to return.
Okay, means when we talk about Gambians in Germany, we are not talking about, this is not, I just want viewers to understand, this is not German government saying here is a project. No, this is an offer that if you want to go home voluntarily, you yourself feel that, I have another thing to do in my country, or because of situations or circumstances beyond my control, or whatsoever reason it might be, you want to go back to your country voluntarily. Those people also, Saba-Lou as telling them, welcome to this project, if I get you right.
Exactly. It's simply an offer, and you are totally free to take it or to leave it. Totally.
Or to leave it, yes. Okay. Okay. So it is just an offer to them, say that you decide, like they make their own individual decisions, and if they are in Gambia, or if they will be in Gambia without anything, or they wish to do something, they wish to reintegrate professionally, you welcome those people also to be part of this project. This is, I think this is a very, very good initiation to our brothers and sisters who may or are willing to go back voluntarily, or who are taking these voluntary packages, you know, from IOM or other partners that go home voluntarily. So you are open to them. And how can they get contact you?
Well, you have my contacts. Yeah. So it's quite easy. So you can forward my contact. But I think your question is a little bit more extensive. Yeah. because you might ask how that is working, how that is handled. Yeah. So if people would contact me, yeah, we would first of all have a personal meeting with them in our offices in Stuttgart, like we met you. Yeah.
Yeah.
In order to get to know them, and in order for them to get to know us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they also have to get an impression of me and my wife and Daniel, whom you know also personally.
I know.
And if that is done, and if we agree, yeah, that this person is really motivated and willing to enter the project, we would also establish a video conference, a video meeting with our CEO in the Gambia, Mamadou Ba. Yeah?
Mamadou Ba.
So that he gets to know the aspirant who wants to enter the project. Yeah. And if that is all fine, yeah, then we can implement it. We can do that. Yeah. So now, in terms of timing, the new batch would start in September this year.
Okay.
Yeah? In September
this year, the new batch will start. So anybody who wants to be part of this new batch in September can try to get in touch now, either in Gambia or here, or through you, or through, yeah, of course, you are all free to contact me too, and I will pass over the number or the email or whatever to
you have my contact. Yeah, so you're totally free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To forward these contacts to anybody who is interested. Yeah.
Before we go to another question, I still want us to talk about these trainees. How can they get there? I mean, we are talking about, we just discussed about the Gambians who want to go home voluntarily or who voluntarily went home. Those also in Gambia, the project, in your introduction, you clearly explained that the project is in Nordbank, and you explain how you get to Nordbank. Okay, and of course, Gambia, we have about 6 to 7 regions. Is this project open to all Gambians, regardless of which region you are, you know, and regardless of course, you talk about qualification, grade 9. Can also Gambians who are probably in other jobs, but yet still want to learn a profession, because profession is important. Some Gambians might be working as carpenters. To all regions in the Gambia?
Yeah, you were cut off in the last 2 minutes. I didn't get,
so,
but I get the first part of your question. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, this project is open to all Gambians, regardless where they come from. Yeah. Even at present, we have students from all of the Gambia, from the Combos up to the Basé region, so they come from everywhere. I don't have to tell you, Gambia is not a big country. Yeah, it's quite small. Everybody knows everybody in the Gambia. Yeah, so it is no problem where an aspirant would come from. Yeah. And now you also posed a second question, which I didn't get because you were cut off. Can you?
Yes, the second question is, you are open to even Gambians who, you know, they might be doing other jobs, but they now want to learn profession and they want to come and do this through Saba-Lou project. Are they welcome too?
If they're interested in agricultural training, that's the restriction. Yeah, we are not expert in solar technique or in I don't know what. Yeah, in other techniques. It's exclusively agriculture, but it's the wide field of agricultural training. Huh? Management belongs to that, agricultural machinery, animal husbandry, yeah, also field crops, not only horticultural gardening, but also field crops. We grow maize, we grow soybean also, not to that extent, not on 12 hectares. Yeah, we have the area outside of the camp with fields, but we train them on every segment in agriculture. Okay. Yeah. So that's the only restriction. We don't train carpenters, we don't train solar techniques, we don't train mechanics, yeah? We don't train bakery. Yeah, we are engaged in agriculture, and you have to understand that this also is the expertise of Saba-Lou. We always had been doing agricultural projects. And
this agriculture you're talking about, does it also involve, because I saw, why I am bringing this area, because I saw many Gambians getting into it now, especially youths, and that is about poultry farming. Does it also involve poultry farming?
Exactly, poultry. We do layers, yeah, we do. We have I think 3,000 layers on the camp, yeah? They produce eggs.
Interesting. And we, in the introduction again, you said that you had 2 badges. Each you already had 1 badge, and the other one will be graduated in September. Means almost 80. But why 80? Because I know a project like this, probably more than 50, hundreds, youths are there waiting to get in. Why don't you make it open for all? I just want viewers to understand why that number.
Yeah. Well, I'm laughing because we already have a big project, yeah, with a lot of efforts, a lot of money involved, yeah, which was funded by Saba-Lou, yeah, the money. We want to do a really sound professional training, yeah, with all aspects, yeah. I can show you the curricula of these students there, the books like that, yeah. So if you want to go into detail, if you want to offer them a sound training, you cannot engage 500 trainees. That's impossible. And by the way, yeah, these people also, that's also our intention. Yeah, they have to find jobs after their training. Yeah, they have to qualify themselves to a very high degree so that they're able to make a living with that. Yeah, I know projects which do some short trainings for 4, 3, 2 months, and then let the people go. Yeah? That's not very, very serious. That's not very sound. Yeah? We want to really give them a sound training and enable them to make a living on that, to build a future for themselves and for their families. Yeah. So that's the reason for that restriction for 80 students. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are just coming in, and I am reading their comments. That's how it is. It is live stream, so people come and go. So someone just entered and asked for, is there any formal requirement? So I know we already talked about it, probably to help him to understand.
Yeah,
he's a brother here in Germany. Probably you can.
I can repeat. The criteria for the target group. Yeah, these people have to be within a certain age group. Yeah, from 15 to 30 years. Yeah, if he is 32, 33. It's not that important, yeah? He will be accepted provided he is really interested. He is really motivated to do that. Secondly, he has to be literate, yeah, to a certain extent. He does not have to have grade 9, but he has to be able to write and to read English, because we cannot teach in 4 tribal languages. Yeah, we cannot teach in Wolof, in Mandinka, and in Fular. Yeah, that's not impossible. Yeah, and he has to make his notes. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, these two requirements. And the third I told was we want to have a certain part of female trainees because we also want to give women a chance in the Gambia. Not only the only chance to marry a guy, yeah, they should be able also to make a living by themselves. And this is highly, highly accepted by women also, by young women. Yeah.
Very good. Very
Is
good.
that sufficient?
And of course, Janko Lamin also asks, but I can answer that question because you already explained it in detail. His question is this opportunity for youth that are where that are or were in diaspora, or even to those that never been abroad? What are the, so I think what he is trying to ask here is it for only those in Gambians or here also in Germany?
It's
or in abroad?
All Gambians, regardless where they stay, yeah, provided that they're really interested and provided that the migrants are willing to return, which is also free.
Yeah. So the bottom line there here is for those in Germany or those in Europe that are interested in this project, if they want to be in Gambia, or if they feel to be in Gambia, they have a reason to go back to Gambia, then yes, this project is there. They can go and be part of the project. They will be welcome. That's what you are saying, right?
Exactly. There is one restriction. I have to also to mention that. We have only a certain part of migrants. Let's say one batch, 40 students. Start would be in September this year. We would accept up to 20% migrants. That would mean up to 8 returnees, would be accepted. If it would be 10 or 12, we would have to say, okay, we also have to take local Gambians. So
that's fair. That's very fair. We should be fair to our Gambian brothers and sisters at home. Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, and another important thing is, okay, we are talking about they are welcome. Is there any formula that they need to take? Is there any form that they need to go and take this form, or is there any website that they need to down? Because this is important. We know that it is this is important, but then how can they get there? Some people don't know where. Of course, Gambia is small, so many might know Balingo. It is around Farafenni in North Bank. So, but to get to this college, there must be a process, a procedure. How will they get to your Gambians, your team in the Gambia?
Well, it's very simple. I explained that the first step would be that they come up to me and tell me if they're interested. If they're interested, we have an interview in Stuttgart, a personal interview, and also a personal or a virtual interview with our CEO in the Gambia, Mamadou Ba. And if we agree upon, all of us, the candidate and we and Mamadou, if we agree upon that he is welcome in the project for the training, then he would have to go to his consultant, to his I don't know the German expression, dem Migrationsbeauftragten, dem Flüchtlingsberater, oder I don't know the term. How are they?
His migration manager,
and he would have to initiate the way of emigrating again to the Gambia. Now, this in the presentation which I sent you, this is explained with these options. I don't know if you can show this also. With these options, he would have to initiate his return to the Gambia with his consultant, and then he would, if that also works, he would get quite a lot of money. yeah, in order to return. Yeah, he would get travel aid, he would get startup aid, he would get a Corona supplement payment. One, he would get a Corona supplement payment. Two, yeah, all of this amounting to a total of 3,700 euros in case that he is willing and prepared to return. And these getting back to the Gambia is not managed by it's not managed by Saba-Lou, it's not managed by Mamadou, but it's managed by the German government. Yeah. And they will be recepted in the Gambia, I think, by IOM. And
by IOM, yeah, International Organization for Migration.
Yeah, and they will also be at the same point with the IOM manager. They will be welcomed by our manager, by Mamadou. And I think then it's all fine. Yeah, if that is done, and which will take some 1 or 2 hours in the Gambia, then he will travel with Mamadou to Balingo, to the camp. Very easy. Yeah?
I see. Yeah, very easy.
Again, now let's talk. To sum it up again,
okay.
Naya, this part of managing and organizing the return, this is not our part. Yeah, this will be done by IOM and by the government here. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so this 3,000, around 3,000 euro plus 3,700 will be given to them, but that is by IOM. You know, with the German government, of course. Yes, I understand. Okay, I think they get that clearly. Let's still try. We are talking about that's this area you were explaining. You know, that is about the German. But yesterday I shared this thing this information that you share with me. I share it in some lot of WhatsApp groups and some pages. You know, in the Gambia. And a lot of people reacted. The question is, they are in Gambia and they are interested. How will they get the form in Gambia? Those also, we already talk about those in German. If they are interested, they have to communicate. You know, set an appointment, come to your office, discuss this. You know, the process goes like that. So those in Gambia, the Gambian youth in Gambia, if they are interested to get this form for next entry in September, how will they get this form? How are you communicating this message out to them in Gambia?
So you're asking if the Gambians, the local Gambians, would also get these funds, this money? No way.
No, not the money. The Gambians, the local Gambians in the Gambia, if they want to get in Saba-Lou project in September, next September, okay, your next batch, if they want to get in there, should they just get into the car and go to Balingo or no? Or they should go to a specific office and pick a form or register? How will they register?
Yeah. I think there will be a call for application now in July or in August, yeah, before we do the interviews. We always do interviews also in the Gambia. So what you could do if the people came up to you asking whom they should address, yeah, you could definitely also forward the contacts of Mamadou Ba, because he is the guy to address in case they're interested in the project. Yeah, and he tells them, okay, we have our interviews second half of August, for example, or first half of August, second week of August, and then they would be invited for an interview with him. Yeah, so that's the way. They should not contact us, yeah, because as I told in the beginning, the project is a pure Gambian project, so we don't interfere in the recruitment of the trainees. Yeah? This is solely, in the end, solely upon discretion of the CEO of the project, of Mamadou Ba. Yeah.
Again, it is solely decided by Mamadou Ba and the team in Gambia. I understand, and it is fair. But some Gambians are still saying that they are not aware of it. I mean, how is it advanced? Because
in order to be fair to every Gambian, every local Gambian, it needs to be published. I mean, because it is a project for all Gambians, regardless of which region. So I'm trying to understand, because I share it, and I share it in a lot of media, and I can send you those figures. So people reacted quickly. You see the interest. 40 is nothing in Gambia when you look at the population. So
I know. Yeah.
how is that fairly? And someone is also making a comment here, regarding the issue of selection in Gambia. So the point here is how fairly is this selection be? How did they communicate it out? It needs to be in every platform. I mean, every national platform, so that every Gambian, in a democratic way, every Gambian can have at least an informed choice about Saba-Lou. Then they can decide to go. Then they can, then the vetting process can be. How do Saba-Lou do this? Because some Gambians want to know this also. They are interested, but they never know about it, and which they think is not fair.
Well, I can only tell you that we had been really overrun by candidates in both cases. When we made a call for application in 2019, I think we had about more than double candidates, 80, 90 candidates, and could only select 40. And it was the same in September last year, in September 2020, we had much more candidates. To be honest, I don't know how to do that, to get more known, because we are already known in the Gambia and we can only take 40 students. If you want to publish the project, to communicate what we do, you're totally free to do that. I can only tell you, in the end, we have only place for 40 students for each year.
Okay.
And it's always hard. It's always hard to tell young people, no, you cannot get now the place because there are 40 other students. This is hard.
I understand. Yeah.
I can only tell you with regard to people willing to return, that if really if they are interested, we would reserve up to 8 places for them, each year.
When this is purely Gambian thing. Some people, if they don't understand that much, they will even blame. They can easily do this blame game that I tried, because after publishing it, 2 people communicate to me that they tried what I think they said 1 year ago, but they did not succeed, because of the number. And to them, they don't understand the process. Probably the process is not clear to them. The vetting process is not clear to them. So they will blame you or blame Momodu, and probably you don't even do anything, or Momodu don't even do anything. But to make it clear, information is I'm trying to also help you all, the team in Gambia, the team in Stuttgart, to make this simple and clear. The process needs to be clearly, clearly there for everyone to know how it is. Then those 80, 90 people that are trying to get in, and you can only take 40. The rest will understand that they don't get the chance. And they would not blame Momo, they would not blame you, they would not blame anybody. That's the reason why I'm trying to bring this issue.
The point is noted. The point is noted. I will inform Momodu and ask him to use more channels in order to communicate about the project.
Exactly. The number is there. The number is 40. But how they take them, how they select them, and how they get to the 40 is very, very important for the people who are interested, because there are a huge number of youths who are really interested.
It is
noted. They don't know this. This is how they select. Please.
It is noted.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good. Yeah, it is because Gambians are interested in this Saba-Lou project. You are already known, so I'm happy about that. So another thing is that some people use the document. It says the trainees are paid $1,500 monthly. You can correct me if I am wrong. The trainees are paid $1,500 monthly. Okay. From that, $1,000 will be saved and paid. Okay, $1,000 will be saved out after successful graduation. What do you mean by this? Why do you save? I understand. But I want our viewers to understand, and I want people who are interested about this project to definitely let them have an informed choice before they go there.
Yeah. Okay.
How much do you pay them? How much do you save for them? And why do you save this money for them?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yeah. First of all, in the beginning, we started out with $750 to $750. So 750 were saved on a special account reserved for the students. Yeah. And 750 were paid for the students as some sort of
This was in 2019, not now.
This was in 2019 up to mid-2020. And then it was the students who decided to save more, yeah, because they can use it as some sort of a support for a startup business. Yeah?
Okay.
They can use it in the beginning if they get a job. Yeah. By the way, out of the first batch, which has not even graduated yet, already one girl was hired away by a Senegalese company, yeah, doing online marketing. Yeah. So it's only to show you that these people are highly qualified. Yeah, not only in agriculture, but it's marketing. And these Senegalese company, online marketing, they looked for a clever girl, and they came up to Satan and hired her away. Yeah, she cried when she left. She really cried. Yeah, but she had to take that opportunity, to take that chance. Yeah, because it was unique, and she gets much more money. So to come back to your question, these are reserves. Yeah, these $1,000 or $750, 1,000 monthly reserves for them in order to start a living, to make a living, to start a life outside the camp with themselves or with a family. Yeah, and the students are very fine with that. They wanted even to save more, as I told you. Yeah. Is your question answered?
Yes, my question is answered. So means now the $1,000 monthly you are savings for them through the students' decision. This 1,000, when are you giving them back all this money? And if you're giving it back to them, how much it should be? And what will they do? How do you go about that? Do you give it them, let's say, do you give them this whole amount in cash? Or do you advise, or do you guide and counsel them? Because sometimes it can be at the level of the Gambia, it can be a huge amount, you know? So you just give it to them like that without no guidance and counseling. Probably they might just go and buy whatsoever they want to do. And then where is the startup? Okay. I just want our viewers to understand. Do you guide and counsel them through this process too?
Yeah. So let's simply take the figures now. Yeah. If we pay them $1,000 or save $1,000 for them monthly, now take 2 years, that's 24 months, that's $24,000. Now, in European terms or German terms, that's not a lot of money, yeah? But it's quite some money. It's in the Gambia, it means something. On the other hand, yeah, let's say they want to start an agricultural business. And they say, okay, we want to do horticultural gardening. They have to have water. Yeah? Now, in order to have a solar pumping and irrigation system, that's quite expensive. Yeah? If that person that graduate has a good business plan, we might also consider in helping him or her with a startup loan, which we also have in the project. We have reserved a special loan from Saba-Lou in order to help startups with start loans, start credits, with a duration of 1 or 2 years, in order to help them to produce, in order to make a revenue, in order to have a return, and to pay back the loan. This loan will be on very, very good terms. It will not be Gambian terms. It will be German terms, with a very, very low interest rate. So we don't want to exploit the people. We simply want the money to finance itself. That's why we have to ask, let's say, for an annual rate of, I don't know, 3 or 5% annual rate, not monthly. So this is also there, the possibility of giving them, in addition to their own 24,000 dalasi, to give them some money, for example, in order to establish a solar system, a solar pumping system, so that they don't have to do an ordinary well, if they have a bigger area. But that's all depending upon the business plan, which we also develop with them. Now, for example, for the first batch, they are at present, they are in train to develop their business plans. We help them, so we know what they look for when they get out of the camp, when they get out of the training. We can advise them, we can mentor them, monitor them. We can tell, okay, for that you don't need an extensive solar pumping system. This is much expensive because you don't get the return. Start with a simple well. So that all belongs to the education, to the training. And not only that, I mentioned their own money, 24,000 dalasi. I mentioned the funds which we have in order to help them with the first steps. Thirdly, we are we are engaged in a discussion with the YEP program. Does that say anything to you? YEP?
Yes, Youth Empowerment Project in the Gambia.
Exactly. They are also interested in working together with us, and with regard to these loans for startups. So in case that our funds are not sufficient enough, we can even ask them to help one or the other student for starting a business. So this is all more or less established. We don't want to drop these people in the nowhere.
Okay, so you guide and counsel them through the process too.
Exactly. Because this is very important. We not only want to train these people, we want them to be successful in their business life.
Interesting. Okay, very, very good. Let's still talk about the Gambians in Germany. Again, let's come back to them, in order to make it clear.
I don't want to interrupt you, but we also have to discuss about the other two options.
Yes.
We only discussed now the first option, which is...
Yes. Just give me this last thing, then we go to two options. Yes, this is just going to be a follow-up question regarding the Gambians who are here. They are interested. If there is a Gambian who is interested in this Saba-Lou project, but then he's a migrant still, and out of 35 years, will you help this? Is this person welcome in this project? He's a refugee migrant, wish to go home voluntarily, and someone bring this question to me just now. He said, so
he is 35. What is
he said if someone is more than 32 years, that's his question. I don't want to give any figure that he did not mention.
Well, let him get into contact with me. That's fine. Yeah?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So let's go to the second option. The second option. Can you take us through this second option? You know, what are we when we this second option that is about let me check my question. Okay. Work has an employment in the project. What is this? What are you talking about this? Do you give them take us through this?
Okay. Just to sum it up, the first option is the training, the vocational training. Yeah.
Yes.
So if somebody is interested in, let's say, in building up a professional basis, yeah, for a job, then he should go for the first option if he is qualified, if he is willing. Yeah. The second option is to work in the project, to work on the camp. We need quite some labor there, in addition to the labor of the students. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do. Yeah? He might work as a cook. He might work as a chauffeur, yeah, as a driver. He might work in the garden also to repair the solar pumping system. We have a big solar pumping system, yeah, and irrigation system. There is a lot of labor needed on the camp, yeah. So if a guy, let's say, is not literate, yeah, but he wants to go back and wants to make money, wants to make some money in addition to the funds which he gets when he is willing and prepared to go back. Yeah, we talked about the amount of 3,700 euros. If he wants also to earn some money in the Gambia, then he is welcome in the camp as a laborer. Yeah, and the payment is clear. He would get 4,000 dalasi monthly, free food and free accommodation. Yeah, together with the students and the trainers. Yeah, he would live on the camp and work there. This would be, first of all, this program would be restricted for 12 months. Yeah. If there is still work there to be done, we could continue for another 12 months or even longer. Yeah. But this would be the second option, that for 12 months, a salary would be guaranteed in addition to the money which he would get when he returns to the Gambia.
Okay.
So 4,000 dalasi monthly plus free accommodation plus free food.
So
but,
this is
sorry,
this is very, very.
I forgot something to mention.
I want to come here. Sorry, before we go to other options, probably let's talk about this a little bit. That is, we're talking about a monthly salary in Gambia. When you this will be when you graduated after going through the 2 good years training, and you successfully graduate. You will be, of course, certificated. Out of this, after all these things, if the guy, it's not a force. I want our viewers to understand, if I get you right, it's not a force. It is not like there is a memorandum of understanding that after your qualification, you will stay there to work. No, right? It has to be a decision of your own choice to take a job there, and you will be paid $4,000 monthly. Am I right?
I don't know if I got you fully. Yeah. The procedure would be the same in the beginning as with the vocational training. Yeah. So if someone is interested, he should contact me. Then we would do an interview with him in Stuttgart for this job, yeah, for this labor. and also would do an interview with our CEO, with Mamadou in the Gambia, Mamadou Ba. Yeah? If that is all fine, if all agree that we can take him as a laborer, yeah, then he should, in a second step, address his consultant here in Germany in order to initiate the return process. Yeah. So if that is done with IOM and things like that, the government consultant, if that is done, if he returns, he's welcomed by IOM in Banjul and by Mamadou, and he's taken directly to the camp and starts working with guaranteed 12 months labor, yeah, 4,000 monthly, free food and free accommodation.
Yes, I definitely seriously understand all these things, and I hope our viewers also understood it. What I was just trying to verify or to make it clear is these 4,000 salaries, these monthly salaries we're talking about, this will start after your graduation, and when you take a job there, or immediately. I just want them to understand that. When will you start paying them $4,000 a monthly if they take the job?
In the first month when he is working. He doesn't have to graduate.
Ah, wow, interesting.
Yeah. It's you know, he doesn't have to graduate as an agricultural guy. Yeah. The only thing which
this
has
is
to be provided,
new information for me too.
Is that true? Didn't I explain it clearly? Okay, I have to explain it. Yeah. First, the first guy is interested in vocational training. He wants to learn agriculture. He wants to learn horticulture. He wants to learn animal husbandry. He wants to learn chicken, things like that.
Very good. Yeah.
Practical and theoretical. So this is the first option.
Yes.
The second option is a guy who simply wants to work and wants to earn money, yeah, and wants to return. So that's the second option, yeah. So, and the procedure would be the same as with the training program. We would get to know him. Mamadou would get to know him. If we all agree that it's fine that he works on the camp, doing mechanics, yeah, repairing the cars, looking for the irrigation system, yeah, work as a cook, yeah, things like that, yeah. If he is willing to work, yeah, that's the only thing which has to be provided. And if he is willing to return, then we offer him directly a job. If he decides today, to enter in that program, yeah, he should call me tomorrow, yeah, ask for an interview, yeah. We would have the personal interview in Stuttgart in our offices, also together with Mamadou. If we all agree that he returns, he should walk up to his consultant here in Stuttgart or in Constance.
Yes.
And say, okay, look, I want to return. I want to return and want to go to work in Saba-Lou's program project. It's my voice. Yeah. I smoked for 30, 40 years very hard, and talking that long, it's still the cigarettes. I stopped smoking 15 years ago, but it's still there. So I want to continue. If he's willing to work, we can start that tomorrow. Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. It's very clear now.
If he returns, let's say in June or in July, he starts in July and gets $4,000 at the end of July. Period.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Interesting discussion here today. Okay. If you are satisfied with that explanation, with that second option, we can talk about the third option. You know, that is work as an employee in a startup. What do you mean by this? What happened during this process?
Okay. This is the third option is very open. Yeah, it is depending upon how many startups will be started by the graduates. In the first batch, as I told, we started with 40 students. Now I think there are 32 left because we had some losses, yeah, as always in these 2 years. Now at the end, 32. There had been 33 with Satang, who left us 1 month ago for the Senegalese company. Yeah. So out of these 32 graduates, let's say 15 will start with a startup business, a small startup business. They might also need labor. They might need labor because they cannot cultivate, let's say, a full 2 hectares garden or 1 hectare garden. They need people to work for them, and they need to pay them. Yeah. So that's depending upon the number of startups which are going to be built and upon the willingness of these graduates to take 1 or 2 laborers. Yeah. So to be open, this is an option which would not be valid before September, October this year. Yeah. Before these startups would start with a startup business somewhere in the Gambia and would ask for labor. Yeah. And we would also guarantee, if that is the case, that they would need some labor there, we would offer them a job there, a job paid with $5,000 monthly, and if they are a little bit more qualified, with even $6,000 monthly, but they would have to pay for food and accommodation by themselves. That's the difference with the option 2. Understood?
Yeah, it's definitely understood. That's definitely understood. I'm trying to answer some ones through the comment box. They are asking about the last guy, the guys who came lastly. They are asking questions that you already answered. You know, but okay. I wrote him back that he's asking about if he want to join. What are the credentials? So I told him it's like you can read and write and probably up to grade 9. You know, Gambia grade 9. This is enough. So that's what I replied to him. So if you are listening, you ask Lamza. I don't know what is how you write this name, but Lamza, Lamza, it's a Gambian, but not really a Gambian name. Lamza, if you are watching, of course, if you can read and write and up to grade 9 and age of from I think 18 to 32, something like this. But if you are here in Germany, okay, good. If you are here in Germany, write me a message and I will forward you the contact or possibly put you in contact with Saba-Lou team in Stuttgart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. This is very, very important project. I think Gambians need to know this. And I think, you know, for me, the reason why I am interested to do this as a live program here is to help our fellow brothers and sisters to be aware of it. Probably in Gambia, you are well known, you know, but here also it's important for our guys. There are a lot of Gambians, you know. If I tell you, you can ask IOM about this. There are Gambians who are going home voluntarily, you know. Even as I'm speaking with you, they are already processing some, you know. So there are Gambians who go from that's their own individual opinion without influence of anybody. So people like those Gambians, if they want to get into, if they want to quickly get job, here is one opportunity. Saba-Lou is there for you. If you want to learn a profession in agriculture, Saba-Lou is there for you. If you want to know more about this, you are here in Germany, contact Saba-Lou or contact me, or I will share in fact, I will, in my page here, I will share his contact details there, whereby you can still contact if you're here in Germany. So they are very, very open to all Gambians, you know, regardless of where you are living, as far as you are interested. You want to get contact with them, you are welcome. Call them, email them, send them a message. They will get back to you quickly. They will fix an appointment with you. You will visit their office, see them in person, have that feeling, that connection, that trustness that you need, we all need as Gambians.
Yeah.
Do that. They are open for that. They're open for a very clear dialogue. I have been to their office, and I saw how it is there, and I saw how friendly they are and how ready they are to communicate to you. They can water it down to your level, explain it to your level. You don't need to be an English expert or a German expert. When I visit their office, I can speak German. When I visit their office, in order to be clear, they speak English with me. So I am encouraging every Gambian, regardless of if you want to be informed, go there. They will inform you your own English, but in a simple English, no complication. And one thing also need to be clear, they have nothing to do with deportations, just to clear that concept out. They have nothing to do with deportations. They have nothing to do with connections or dealings with a Ministry of Interior, Struggle Office. No, they have their own project. This is their foundation that they work on purely to help Gambians, youth. So basically, this is the most important part of it. We need to inform ourselves. Listen, we need to just draw our own conclusion. This is a German project. Probably they want to be. No, it is not all projects in here. There is, in fact, no project that is about deportation. Most of these projects, we as Gambians are not informed. We need to inform ourselves. We need to help ourselves to be informed properly. It is your decision to take or leave it. It is your decision to get to know them better or leave it. Nobody can force you. Nobody have that power here to force you to put you into something that you don't want to be.
Exactly.
So if you have anything to say, you can come.
You're asking me or your brothers? Yeah.
You, my brothers have looked. I'm asking you. Do you want to say anything? Then I'm going to the question.
I can only confirm what you said, Yaya. It's a totally free program. Yeah. If people want to return, want to go home, we can offer them 3 options. The first option to enter the training program and to build up a really sound and professional base for a job within a 2 years program under the known terms. The second option, if they simply want to work, they don't even have to be literate. They can talk only Mandinka or Yola or I don't know, or Wolof, but they need to be motivated to work. It's fine. They enter the labor program. Let's call the first option the training program. The second option is the labor program. So if they simply want to work, they get all these benefits when they return, which are noted on the left hand of my paper, 3,700 euros, and they get guaranteed at least for 12 months, a monthly wage of 4,000 dalasi plus free food and accommodation in the camp. The simple requirement is they have to be motivated to work, to do the repairs, or to cook, or to drive somewhere. That's the point. The third option will be if the startups build up a new business and they need labor. They also have, in case, provided that they need labor, they will also be offered a job for 12 months, but this starts only in September, October this year, when we know how many startups, how many labor is needed. At present, if they simply want to work, they're welcome. We need at least 4 or 5 people, to work on the camp to help us, and we would pay them as they does. So these are the
There is a Gambian here. There is a Gambian here who asks, what about those in Italy? Are they part of? Can they be part of it if they want to go home voluntarily?
I don't know. I don't know how this is done, because we only have been discussing that with that repatriation with heavy gun, and the German governments, but I cannot tell you how this is handled. Basically, we should be open also to give them a chance, but how the return is managed, to be honest, I don't know. If somebody is staying, let's say in Milano or in Rome or in southern Italy, in Sardinia, I don't know how this is handled. But basically, if they are in the Gambia, they are free to come up to us and apply for a job or for the training. Yeah.
Yes, I think I can help him explain the little bit issue about if you are in Italy. I mean, that has nothing to do with Saba-Lou. If you're in Italy, IOM still operates in Italy in order to help you to go home voluntarily. You just need to contact IOM office and they will give you a package. So IOM, they have members in Italy, of course. So get in connection with them. As soon as they can help you with a package to go to Gambia voluntarily, Saba-Lou will pick it from there, surely. And there is another guy who asked, I think, Alves Rose, I'm interested. If you're interested, you are in Germany, contact us. If you contact Saba-Lou, or if you contact me, if you are in the Gambia also, the Momodu Bah is in Gambia. We will publish his contact details in our page here probably later. So these are some of the things that you can do if you are interested. The most important thing is get in contact. That is number one important thing if you are interested. So those in Italy, like I said, you have to do a little bit effort to get in contact with IOM or other associations in Italy that might be helping you to give you packages, in voluntary return packages. So but I know IOM can do it, but you need to get in contact with them, and they will do it for you. If you are in Gambia, the rest also before September, Saba-Lou might look into possibilities of helping you. What will be your last? Are you here still? Okay.
Yeah.
What will be your last word for Gambians in diaspora, Gambians in Germany, whom there might be, just any advice or any word of wisdom that you want to give them?
It will be twofold. In recent times, I heard of some Gambians who really made it here in Germany, who got a job, and who are happy with that, So that's perfect, that's fine, But there are also a lot of Gambians, a lot of the brothers here in Germany who are not that happy, and who might consider going back. So I would especially address these guys, these people who consider probably to go back. I can tell them that in the meantime, Gambia has developed. Gambia is no more the same as 4 or 5 years ago. There are not a lot of chances, but there is an increasing number of chances in the Gambia. And one of these chances is by Saba-Lou. So if you want to grab that chance, do it. Get into contact with us. We offer you that chance. And it's totally voluntary. It's up to you. If you want to grab that chance, we're open. Let's get into contact. Let's talk about it. So that's my last word.
Very good. If you want to get in contact with Saba-Lou, get in touch, and they will definitely be open and ready to guide you through, take you through their offers for every Gambian. This is his last word. I said last question, but I'm sorry. Something comes to my mind, and somebody just texted me through my WhatsApp, and he said, "What about deportees? Those who know that they are deported already and they are in Gambia?" I'm sorry, I don't ask about. This is not even part of my questionnaires, but then you know some people are watching and then they have access to my WhatsApp. They can send me message. So someone just said, please, before you go, ask him, what about we Gambians who are deported and in Gambia already?
Well, to be honest, I'm not the guy to give you an answer to that, a response to that, because I know that some deportees, or at least some part of deportees, are criminals, yeah, and that's might have been the reason that they are deported, yeah. I don't know. We don't have. I don't know about these people, to be honest. I don't know about these people. I'm sorry for them. Yeah, something happened in their life. Don't ask me about them. I don't know. Yeah, I know that that deportations in recent times had been with these criminals. Yeah, but to be honest,
I think that's a fair. Yeah, it's just yeah, he sent it to me, so he said, please ask him if they will consider to help us. So, but if you have no position for them, I think yeah, that's fair enough. So we will okay, brothers and sisters. My guest today, I will leave my guest today. I think I at least have him here for more than 1 hour. We are very, very grateful about your this good project in the Gambia. As a Gambian, I'm very, very proud that Saba-Lou is in Gambia, and already you give chance to hopeless 80 Gambians. This means a lot to me. You know, I wish many projects can be like Saba-Lou. I wish many people can be like you and your team, you know, and I encourage all our brothers and sisters to see the positiveness Saba-Lou is doing in the Gambia. You know, if I am not interested, know that thousands of my brothers and sisters in Gambia and of course in Germany might be interested about this project. So definitely thank you so much. And I said, please, you guys continue what you're doing in Gambia. Our country needs it, our people need it, you know, more especially the youths really need this project. You know, I'm glad, and anything that I can do to inform my brothers and sisters betterly about this project, you know, any information you have about Saba-Lou, you can share it with me. I will of course continue sharing it with my brothers and sisters. It is left to them to make their informed choice, you know, that's all. So thank you so very much. Till another time.
Well, yeah, it's on my side to thank you. I'm very grateful that you gave me the chance to talk about our project, and I'm confident, yeah, that there will be more contacts, and be assured that we really take care of these people and of these contacts. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Till next time again.
Yeah,
bye.
Next time. Bye.
Thank you all viewers, those who are viewing right now. Thank you all. Please, you all share this information, so that you all share this live video, so that our brothers and sisters can have access to this program and this project. You know, we just do it to inform our brothers and sisters. That's all. You, like I said, I kept repeating it. The decision is yours, purely yours. Take it or to leave it. The decision should be yours to inform yourself betterly. You know. So that's the reason. So be the case. I please ask all of you people to share the video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Till next time with our next guest. Ciao, ciao.